Guys, this is Miss Smith. We're going to be doing Unit 8.3, Writing Inequalities. Alright, first things first. An inequality is when two values are not equal. An equation, what we just learned, are things that have an equal sign and they're equal, but an inequality just makes sense. Inequality, not equal. Okay, so I'm sure you've seen these signs before. This sign means less than, this sign means greater than, and this sign, there's not a line under it because I forgot to do it on my PowerPoint, but it should be like that on yours. This is greater than or equal to. This sign is less than or equal to. Okay, we're going to go over these words more in class for sure, but these are some words you need to be familiar with and know what type of sign, whether it be, what type of sign one of these four signs down here would be. So I put a star by some of them, so let's go over the ones that I put a star by because those are probably the hardest. Okay, when it says at the most, this is going to be something that is going to be less than or equal to. So at the most I ate 4 pieces of pizza. So, this is going to be a less than or equal to sign. Okay, next one, at least. I know we think that it's going to be, since it has the word least in it, that it's probably that it would look like a less than or equal to, just like at most you think it would be more than, but it's actually opposite. So at least we would have a more than or equal to sign with at least. Okay, and then no more than, we would show this as a less than or equal to. Okay, so notice how all these are kind of the opposite of what we would think. It says no more than, we would think more than, we would think greater than, but it's actually the opposite with the ones I starred. Okay, so let's go over examples of an inequality first. So an inequality, this should have a line through it. An inequality would be 2 does not equal 2. There's no equivalency with inequalities. It means not equal. This is read 14 is greater than 4. Which is a true statement. This is read 6 is less than 9. Okay, so that's just an example of inequalities. Non-examples would be anything with an equal sign. All right, so we're going to be writing inequalities today. I have a lot of examples on here, but I'm going to do just a couple of them so this video isn't, forever long. But let's do a couple of these up here. Okay, remember our descriptions we just said. Okay, so you have written those down at the top. So if I was to say M is at least 4, what sign did we say at least means? Good. Greater than or equal to 4. So M is greater than or equal to 4, which is the same thing as M is at least 4. Okay, next one. U is less than 5. Well, that's easy because we know less than, the less than sign. It's one of our most used 4 at the top. So less than would be U is less than 15. And remember, I don't know if you remember in elementary school, they probably showed y'all the alligator eats the bigger one. So like the alligator mouth is eating the bigger one. So I don't know, that might help you remember. So this one would be J is at the most 61. So remember, we're thinking opposite here because we would think it would be a greater than sign, but it's actually less than or equal to 61. It's the same thing as J is at most 61. Okay, we'll go over the next two tomorrow. Let's go down here and just be a little bit familiar with what these descriptions mean. Okay, 5 more than a number. 5 plus a number. 5 more than n. So n is going to be represented by the number we're talking about. So let's do a couple of these. 11 less than a number. Well, 11 is less than n, so we would have n minus 11. It's kind of backwards, okay, because 11 less than a number. Okay, say it a couple times and I think you'll get how this makes sense. 1/2 of a number. That would be 1/2 of a number. Okay, opposite of 5. Good. That should be -5. Doubled a number would be 2 times n, 2 times whatever number. 4 times a number would be 4n. Okay, now let's go down here and we're actually going to write out an inequality statement. Okay, 5 less than 7 times a number is greater than the opposite of 3. Woo, that's a lot of words. Okay, let's look for an inequality statement first. Greater than. Let's write that inequality. Good, so we would have greater than symbol like this. It didn't say or equal to, it just said greater than. What would 7 times the number be? So let's make sure that we, dissect this problem. So 7 times the number would be 7n, okay? And then 5 less than 7 times the number would be 7n minus 5. And then we had our greater than sign. It's greater than the opposite of 3. What's the opposite of 3? Good, -3. So this would be my number sentence or my inequality. Okay, let's go down here. Let's go to 9, and then we'll do 8 and 10 in class. Okay, 12 more than. So with addition, we can just, put the plus sign anywhere. So 12 more than 3 times a number, should be 3 times n, is no more than, here's our inequality statement, is no more than the opposite of 11. So 3 times a number, what does no more than? Okay, which was one of our descriptions at the top. So no more than would be less than or equal to the opposite of 11, -11. All right, we got to do a lot of practice on these. I know these are really confusing, but we're going to get it down tomorrow, okay? So just maybe replay this and do 8 and 10, and we'll check it in class. Okay, we're almost done. Here's the first example. We're going to make an inequality. Now, as you see, your inequality is already made from this problem. To be honest with you, I had to see this in order to get it. I could not make this up on myself. So I think it's better for you to see how they did this problem instead of us answering it by ourselves the first time. So, okay, the 45 members of the Glee Club are trying to raise $6,000 so they can compete in the state championship. They already have 1,240. What inequality can you write to find the amount each member must raise on average to meet their goal? Okay, so first things, once we read a problem and we're trying to get an inequality, because it asks what inequality can you write, what is the variable? What are you trying to find out in this problem? That's what we need to find first. Okay, how much each member of the Glee Club must raise? That's what we're trying to find, because look, to find the amount each member must raise to meet the goal. So I made that the variable A, okay? You can make it any letter you want. Now identify important numbers and keywords. Alrighty, so we know we have 45 members, and we know each need to raise each of them need to raise money to raise $6,000, and they already have 1,240. Okay, so use the words and numbers, the important information, to tie together and write an inequality. This is step 3. So as you can see here, we know that we have to raise, this number right here needs to be more than $6,000. Okay, more than or equal to $6,000, because they at least have to raise $6,000 to compete. So this number over here, whatever each member raised, has to be more than this. So what does 1,240 represent? Good. It represents what they already have. So that's why we're going to add it to what each member needs to make it bigger than $6,000. So this one's already have. This represents the 45 members. And then A represents, well, the amount of money each one has to make to go over $6,000. Okay, or maybe I shouldn't say make, to raise. Okay, so that we know this sign means greater than or equal to $6,000. $6,000 is the goal. That's how much we want to raise, and then, if we raise more, it's okay. Okay, let's try this one. Example number 2. Ella has $40 to spend at the state fair. So she doesn't have any more money than $40. Okay, so that's important to know. So admission is $6 and each ride costs $3. Write an inequality to find the greatest number of rides she can go on. So we cannot go over what number? Let me put a little line under this. We can't go over 40. So we're going to have to, find a number that goes here that is going to be less than $40. or $40 because she can't go over 40 because that's all the money she has. So this kind of looks like an MX plus B problem because we know the fee is $6 and each ride costs $3. So we know that this 3 represents each ride, how much each ride costs, so money, how much each ride costs. The N is the number of rides she rides. So if she rides 1 ride, it's going to be 3 times 1 plus 6 would equal $9. So she still has, some more rides to go on before she reaches 40, her maximum. Okay? So we know that this symbol means that it's going to be less than. So she can spend less than. She can take some money home. It's going to be less than or equal to. So she spends exactly $40. She's able to do that. So this statement wouldn't be true if you had $41 over here because it's not a true statement. 41 is not less than or equal to 40. She had 40 over here. 40 is less than or equal to 40. You see what I'm saying? So now 40 is going to be the maximum money. That's as much as she can spend because that's all she brought. Okay? Alrighty, so tomorrow we're going to work a lot on this. I know it's kind of tough to make up your own, but we will definitely do this tomorrow together. Okay, so let's try these. Okay, we're going to be going backwards. Now we're going to write the words for the numbers and symbols for our number sentence. So how would I write, let's start with number 2. How would I write 9 times V plus 4 is what? Less than 3. So just like above, we would say 9 times a number, 9 times a number, plus 4. See how I'm writing it? I'm just writing this down, but in words. Plus 4 is, here's my inequality, less than the opposite of what? Good, negative 3, because this is a positive 3, so the opposite of negative 3. Okay, so this part's probably really easy. You just got to write it down in words, kind of going from numbers to words. Okay, this one's a little tougher because we got to remember when we're subtracting a number, we can start out with this. So it'd be 5 minus 2 times a number. Remember, a number can be any number that would make this true. Okay, so 5 minus 2 times a number is what? Good, greater than the opposite of what? Because we have a negative 4 here. Opposite of positive 4. Very good. Okay, guys, I know this is a lot of information. I hope I didn't go too fast. I know you're not totally going to get this tomorrow, and I know you might be a little confused, but we are definitely going to do a lot of practice, and your teacher will probably make it a little bit clearer tomorrow. Okay, we're going to skip that one. Now scroll down, do the questions, and try your best. So look back at your notes and try your best on the questions on the Google Doc. Make sure you submit. You have a wonderful night.